You've probably heard that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Some historians even talk about the invention of the New World. But how exactly do you discover or invent a landmass where tens of millions of people already live, build cities, and gaze at the stars? The truth is, in 1492, America wasn't invented, it was encountered. It was the ultimate collision of two worlds that had been completely isolated from one another since the Ice Age. And the wildest part? The whole thing happened because of a massive mathematical mistake. Let's rewind to the late 1400s. Europe is obsessed with Asian spices and silks. But the Ottoman Empire has blocked the overland trade routes. European monarchs are desperate for a sea route to India and China. The Portuguese are trying to go south, around Africa. But an Italian navigator named Christopher Columbus pitches a radical, incredibly dangerous idea to the King and Queen of Spain. What if we just sail west, straight across the open ocean? People knew the Earth was round. That's a myth that they thought it was flat. But Columbus grossly miscalculated the size of the Earth. He thought Japan was only about 3,000 miles from Spain. In reality, it was over 12,000 miles away. If there hadn't been a giant, unknown continent sitting in his way, Columbus and his crew would have starved to death in the middle of a massive ocean. In August 1492, they set sail. After 2 months of terrifying, endless ocean, the crew is on the brink of mutiny. Then, on October 12th, a lookout spots land. They drop anchor in what is now the Bahamas. Columbus steps ashore, convinced he is off the coast of Asia. He encounters the native Taino people, and because he thinks he's in the Indies, he mistakenly calls them Indians, a geographical error we still use today. He takes gold, plants a flag, and claims the land for Spain. He goes to his grave years later, still stubbornly refusing to admit he hadn't reached Asia. It was another Italian explorer, Amerigo Vespucci, who finally realized this was a completely different landmass. A German mapmaker read Vespucci's accounts and boldly printed the name America across this new continent. In 1507, the name stuck. What followed was the Columbian Exchange, a massive swapping of plants, animals, and cultures that completely reinvented the global diet and economy. But it came at a catastrophic cost. European diseases, warfare, and forced labor wiped out up to 90% of the indigenous population over the next century. The Americas weren't invented from thin air. The New World was built directly on top of an ancient one, forever changing the trajectory of human history. Thanks for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the empires that existed before Columbus arrived, follow Azato.